absolutely. I think those are great examples,
Yeah,
Paul. You mentioned digital twin, and I'm
yeah,
gonna tell everyone that we're gonna come back to that because we
yeah,
got a couple of like really exciting examples
yeah,
that we're gonna get to. But I want to touch on the resource efficiency and the energy management
yeah,
and those topics that you brought up. When you're having conversations with these groups,
yeah.
are these some of kind of the hot button issues that are important to executives, that are important to the decision makers of we need to go hit whatever resource management,
Yeah,
energy management, flexible productions metrics because it's important to the organization as part of sustainability or as part of other
yeah.
initiatives that they're
Well,
doing?
no, I think that's no. I think first of all, when we look, it's really the utility consumption of the facility. And back in my old days, we used to call those wages: water, air, gas, electricity, steam. So let's just focus on the electrical component. And as we all know, I live in North Carolina. I've actually got a very nice investor-owned utility that's got reasonable rates, time of use rates or demand charge rates. But these are going to change. We're seeing it in California. Utility rates will change. And ultimately, there'll be an emphasis to have an aggressive time of use charge rates at those peak occasions. So, the first thing that I find and see with many of my large end users is do they have a really good understanding of, let's just put it this way, at the point of common coupling for their facility, do they understand the 15-minute interval data that the utility gives them? Have they an understanding, or do they make energy measurement at the power distribution substation level or at the feeder level? It could be in most of these facilities, it's low voltage, 480 volts, but they have that ability to measure. And if they don't, because typically what I see with most of the main incoming breakers, historically they've been thermal mag, which is a rather unsophisticated method of tripping on high current. But the idea of using an electronic trip unit with ability to measure kW or kVAR, or deploying an energy device is important. The other thing too is what I'm seeing. I just did a very nice project for a bourbon manufacturer. Unfortunately, it was in Kentucky, so you can't buy at the distilleries. It's cheaper to buy at the local supermarket. But they were interested in basically looking at the chiller operation, which contained, I think it's 16 to 20 very large horsepower VFDs, and they wanted to energy disaggregate. They didn't have energy metering within the construct of the VFD device. And so we came in with a retrofit solution with split core, etc., to basically allow us to get to a 1% measurement. And now I've got the ability to what we call energy disaggregate. So I can now start putting a number to an area in the facility and move forward. And I think back to your point about executives and who's driving this, an operations
Yeah.
team at the facility, it may not be corporate engineering, corporate or support, but it really come down to the operations folks who basically have incentives to basically have a better understanding and handle of their consumption. That's one example of, I think.